y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Mandy. I'm showing you guys just a little bit of before we get the room cleaned up and painted. The whole process of getting this room cleaned up and painted and decorated took several months for me. This room has actually been done since October of last year, and I don't seem to have all the clips that I recorded, but I tried to put it together the best I could with what I had. I'm excited for you guys to see her room and how it turned out. I'm really happy with it. This room took me a few months to get cleaned out. So throughout those months, I would kind of get it a little bit more cleaned up and then mess it up again. So I just kept going back and forth, and I just had a really hard time finding the time and the energy to really work on this room. I already had too much stuff before I became pregnant, and then I was given a lot of stuff during the pregnancy, and I'm very grateful for it, but I was extremely overwhelmed, and I spent almost my entire pregnancy really sick, so I just wasn't able to do much of anything during that time. I just prioritized what was most important, and we were given a bedside bassinet, so we put that in our bedroom, and I made sure the rest of the house was cleaned up. I prepped some freezer meals for us postpartum and just had all the essentials ready to go. So diapers, packed the diaper bag, my hospital bag. That's all I worried about, the things that I knew that I would actually need or that I would actually really want freshly postpartum, and it worked out great. So I just came in here a few months after she was born, and I started slowly cleaning out this room and organizing things. It took a while, but I did get around to it, and it is complete. It looks great, and her and I both really enjoy the nursery. And getting off subject, but I wanted to show you guys, you remember these little raisin things from back in the day? Wasn't there like commercials about them? Anyway, I don't know how that got there. I think that was something that I had brought from home. So now I am getting this bed out of here because I found a mattress on Facebook Marketplace. I didn't know for sure if I wanted to go with a gold or white crib, so I just ended up basing it off of what I could find that was near me in my price range. So I got this crib off Facebook Marketplace with a mattress and mattress cover for $75. It was actually only about 5 miles away from my house. I looked it up online. It's at Target. It's the Da Vinci Charlie 4-in-1 convertible crib. It comes in a few colors. It's about $200 online, not including the mattress. I think a few other places might carry this crib. Just look up the Da Vinci Charlie 4-in-1 convertible crib and see if it pops up anywhere else. I feel like I did see it a few other places. Lorelai's gonna pop in here for a second and say hi to you guys real quick. Here I am measuring to see what size rug I want in this room. I decided to purchase a rug before picking out a paint color because I follow some home decor pages, and people would always talk about how they would choose a wallpaper and a paint and then couldn't find a rug to match it. So I just decided to look for a rug first and then base my wall color more off of the rug. So those set of drawers are really, really heavy. We have them in his office right now, but I do not like those drawers. I just want to get rid of them, and Nathaniel is determined to hold on to them. But these are not easy to move. So we had a little bit of a struggle with these, but we got to figure it out. So as far as picking out the paint color, I had originally in my mind really wanted to go for this really cool tone muted pink, but you will see later in this video that I did not end up going with a cool tone pink or a very pale pink, but it ended up being the perfect shade for me, and I'm so glad I went through with it because I almost chose another color. So here's the rug that I ordered from Amazon. I looked at so many rugs. It was driving Nathaniel crazy. But rugs can get really expensive, and I was determined to get her a nice rug on a budget. So this rug end up being just under $110. I went with the 6x9, and it has a few different shades of pink in it. So it actually has some warm tone pinks and some cool tone pinks. So I think this rug could be a really good option if you're on the fence about what shade of pink to paint your walls. Are you excited? She was going through some teething during this time. She's chewing on that little, I think it's called like a nubby. She really liked that for a while. This rug, it's not very thick, but it is very soft. Look, Lorelai, it's so girly. Sorry, I'm glad I didn't get 8x10. I so much. I don't know how I would have hardly fit an 8x10. So it's time to start to get to working on these walls. Stop moving. You're not doing it right. You just put your hand down. What are you using? A craftsman? I guess. Oh, where's your ASMR? Aren't you tapping it with your fingernails? So we were just goofing off and having a little bit of fun. We decided that we wanted to pull the strips from these walls. Part of the reason it took so long to get around to painting this room is because we know that we wanted to do this step. And also the walls had just a little bit of texture, so we thought that we needed to go in and like mud it and smooth it out. But Nathaniel had done one wall and it was taking forever. It was creating a big mess. It really wasn't making enough of a difference to keep going with it, so we decided not to mud any more of the walls. Hi, baby. Hi. Hi. I left some random clips of Lorelai in here for my memories, but just also want to let you guys know that she was also here for most of the process. We only got a babysitter, I think, a couple days during this, just because we didn't really want her in the room much breathing all this paint in. So this is the color that I ended up choosing. You can't tell much about it in this shot. It almost looks white actually. This is Key Pearl by Benjamin Moore. We got this at an Ace hardware store. I had just picked up a few swatches. I had looked at some paints at Lowe's first, and I didn't see anything that I really liked. But I just hung up the little sample strip on the wall, and I just went and looked at it multiple times during the day because the sun always hits differently. So I would go in there in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, night, just to see how it looked throughout all points of the day. But I would recommend to just go ahead and buy a sample of the paint and swatch it on the wall just to be sure before you spend all that money, because as we were painting, the green just kept peeking through so much and it was making the color not look right. It really needed that final coat of paint for me to solidify my decision, and I had almost considered just stopping and going out and picking out another paint, but I'm really glad I didn't. So to keep you from wasting too much money and time and energy, I would recommend just go ahead and buy the actual paint sample first. I was planning on doing an accent wall with board and batten and wallpaper, and I did find a beautiful wallpaper that would have looked perfect with this paint, but wallpaper is just really expensive, and after the cost of the paint and some of the decor, it just really was not reasonable for me to go through with it. I did order the sample, so maybe later on down the road I might end up putting it in here. I'm not sure. I heard that wallpaper is really a headache, but I do know that the room looks great without it, but I still would like to maybe consider doing it one day. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I also wanted to do something with these doors, and I didn't end up doing that either. I decided not to tape off most of the areas in the room. We taped off around the doors and we covered the floors. And when I done the baseboards, I taped off at the floor to protect them. But as far as the top of the room and the windows, I just decided not to tape those off and just to be careful. Because if you have a good brush and you just take your time, you really can get by with not having to tape off everything. And sometimes if you don't tape it off right, you'll end up with some peeling at the edge. So that's another reason why I didn't want to tape everything off. Okay, so here are some things that I just either purchased or already had to decorate her bedroom. I'm sure I'm not going to be using all of this. Okay, so I played around with some of the decor yesterday and I feel like I needed a few things. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I went to Gabe's and Ollie's and I looked around and I found some things. I don't know if I'm keeping all of this. It's just to play around with and see if I think I like it better than some of the stuff I already got, or just to finish completing a couple spaces. The pig and the thing with the beads, the white flower frame, the gold frame, the lantern, and the pink glass face are all from Hobby Lobby. That white and gold frame I picked up at Gabe's, and I knew I wanted some books for her room, and I wanted them to look kind of pretty and match the aesthetic, but I wanted books that I actually wanted to read to her. I picked those up at Ollie's. I got all those for right under $20, including tax, so I was pretty excited about that. So I'll get on here and show you what those are real quick. So, Love from Llama Llama. I thought it was cute. Little Princess. I love that movie. It's really, I don't know, I guess, what is the word? Maybe nostalgic for me. It's just a good little movie. And Tough Chicks Love Their Mama. I had to get that. I thought that was cute. It's got this little fuzzy heart. Actually, it kind of feels sticky, but whatever. Tough Chicks Love Their Mama. I thought that was cute. Mommy Loves Me. Anything about Mommy loving me. I just had to pick those up. A lot of stories about love. Counting Blessings. Just wanted something with a different color, but I thought this one was cute, and it'll be good for helping her count later. And then this one I thought was really cool. And it's got all kinds of stories in it that I grew up with. That all these stories that I grew up hearing. So I thought that was awesome. So I'll be reading her these if she don't destroy them before then. Like I said, I just wanted some cute books, but I wanted some books that I could actually read to her as well. So thought that was a really good deal. $3, $2, $3, $3, $3, $2, and $5. Great deal. I tried out several sets of curtains. I was really having a hard time finding ones that I thought looked well with the rug. I recorded myself holding these up against the wall because Nathaniel wasn't home and I was feeling impatient and I wanted to see what they looked like from afar because I definitely couldn't tell holding them up like that. These are the ones I ended up going with. They are cream and have some gold threads through them. So I think they look really well in this room. Here they are. They're mainstays. They are very affordable. And I think they pair really well with this rug. I found the ceramic butterflies at Gabe's. I found 2 different sets. I wish they would have had more, and I kept looking, but I never found any more. I didn't hang these up with a nail because I didn't want to hang them up vertically. I wanted to hang them in a way that looked like they were flying up and across the wall. So I just used Velcro command strips. They've stayed just fine. I cleaned the wall with rubbing alcohol before putting them on there. But when I had her Christmas tree in here, I had bent over to plug in the lights and I had pushed up on one of those butterflies and it did fall off the Velcro. The Velcro strip didn't come off the wall. It was just the two pieces that hold it together. Those had split. And it did fall on this floor, and it did break in half. But because there was a strip on each side of the butterfly, I was able to just hang it right back up. And it looks fine. I didn't even have to glue it. You could get a stencil, or if you're good at drawing or painting, maybe freehand some of the butterflies up the wall this way. I think that would be a really good idea. But I do love how this little wall turned out. I wish I would have had more. I ordered this little name sign from Amazon. I'm not going to show you guys her middle name just for privacy reasons. I did order it in that gold color. I will say the only thing that I did not like about it was that the I in her name, the dot on top of it, did not come separate, so it did not look right. And I had ordered these little sticky butterflies from Amazon, and there's all kinds of them and many sizes of them. So I just used that to go over the eye, and it worked out perfectly. So how we hung this sign and got it centered is I let Nathaniel hang it up and let me look at it from afar so I know where I wanted it. And then we just outlined several points of it with the blue painter's tape because we used more Velcro command strips to hang this. And this really isn't that heavy, but you can go in after the Velcro command strips and just add a few nails to it as well. And you can maybe put those nails like right up underneath the loops of the L. Also, I forgot to mention that before we hung that name sign, we measured and centered the crib, and then we centered the name sign above the crib. And something that I really liked about waiting to do her nursery is that I got to hang up all these photos of her and use them as decor. All these photos hung on this wall, and most of the ones on the shelf are just ones that I took on my phone. You know, because we take so many photos, so why not use them and display them? And they work great as decor. I ordered these frames from Amazon. I think a lot of people will go on Etsy and order prints, so that's a good idea too. And maybe if you are doing your nursery before you give birth, maybe do some cute Etsy prints, and then maybe eventually over time you can switch those out with some photos that you took of them yourself. I just so happen to have several photos that the outfits that she is in coordinate well with this room, so it worked out great. And it's hard for me to choose a favorite spot in this room, but this wall is probably it because it's just a wall of her and her first year of life. These photos are so precious and bring me so much joy. So finally, here it is. I've been wanting to get this video up for so long, but here's the final product of the room. I love it. I love this color. I love everything about it. I think it is just so cute and girly and joyful. This table is probably one of my favorite pieces. I found it on Facebook Marketplace for $35. It fits here perfectly, and just the heart cutouts. It's so perfect for a nursery. I cannot believe I found this. This is a piece I plan on always keeping. In fact, if it lasts, it's something that I might pass on to Lorelai when she's older if she chooses to have children. And I did actually find a few pieces at Goodwill, and then, like I said, a lot of this stuff was given to me. But if there's anything you have a question about, I will try to let you know where you can find it. This cabinet is something that my father-in-law had built for our niece. It's actually supposed to be like a little refrigerator, and her dresser drawers were actually given to me by my in-laws, so I don't know where those came from. Here's how the gallery wall turned out. I do think this is my favorite part of the room. It's just full of many sweet memories. These shelves were given to me, so they're meant to be temporary. I will be changing these out soon. She was still very young when I decorated this room, so I made it more for me. But as she gets older, it's going to adapt into a room that's more for her. This little tea set is probably one of my other favorite things in this room. The tea kettle was a gift from my husband's aunt, and those glasses are from Ross. On this next shelf, that is a vase from Walmart. Those frames were in my bedroom. I just moved them into here and switched out the photos. She loves to play with that ballerina and that wooden bead toy. Those are both from Hobby Lobby. I've had the vase for a few years. And I really struggled with these shelves. So on this last shelf, I just used it to display a bunch of the photos that was on my phone since I had all these frames that needed to be used. And that bunny was a baby shower gift. It's a warmie. Here is a better look at the curtains so you can see the gold threads in them. And these are new blinds. They're the faux wood looking blinds. We got them at Lowe's. They don't have a cord, so I feel so much better about these being in here. And they're a bright white, so they look a lot better because the other ones look kind of like old and dingy. I didn't intend for this room to be full of so many butterflies. It just kind of happened by accident. The blanket on the chair, it was from Goodwill and it's got butterflies all over it too. The mirror is from Target from a few years ago. It was hanging over my fireplace in my living room and I just decided to move it in here because it fits perfect for the nursery. The piggy bank is from Hobby Lobby. The gold vase is from Burlington Coat Factory from a few years ago. I can't remember where I got those flowers. I've had them for a while. The elephant and the little mirror thing it's sitting on is from Hobby Lobby. I've had it. That gold frame I think I got from Ross. This wall needed something. It took me forever to figure out what could go here to fill it in, and finally it hit me just to get a faux tree. I got this from Amazon. It's a eucalyptus tree, I believe. And the gold pot that it's in, I just so happened to find that at Hobby Lobby on clearance too. That rope basket is from Amazon. I just throw her extra blankets in there for now. I think that this tree and those butterflies flying across the wall really make this wall come together and the decor just flow really well. And even though I didn't do a lot of the things that I wanted to do in this room, like the board and batten and wallpaper and the doors, I still think this room turned out beautiful and I'm content with it just the way it is. I don't feel that it even needs those things. This is the end of the nursery reveal tour. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope maybe you got a few ideas. I hope you guys will come back and watch another video soon.